Hi guys, I wanted to pop on here today to talk to you about how your student can earn 30 college credits by the end of their freshman year in high school. So this is something that we are doing with our current ninth grader. I also have an 11th grader who has done quite a bit of college work in high school. He's going to be receiving his associate's degree through a community college this spring at the end of his junior year. But today I wanted to focus on our ninth grader and how she's getting her first year of college done by the end of her freshman year in high school. And so I wanted to share with you how we've gone about doing it through CLEP testing. Now, up into her age in Minnesota, she can do CLEP for college credit, but she can't do post-secondary enrollment option yet. Now, different states have different requirements. I know, for instance, in Montana, I have a niece who's an 8th grader, and she is taking community college classes actually in the classroom, which is an incredible opportunity if you're in a state that offers something like that. But here in Minnesota, our students can't take college credit classes until 10th grade, and at that point they're limited to one class per semester. So we wanted to get a jump on some of those general ed kind of courses and start racking up credits for those through CLEP testing when they're a little bit younger. So I just want to tell you how we have done that for our ninth graders. So if you're planning and looking into a similar option for your student, you'd like to help them get some of those credits out of the way for free, then maybe something I share with you today can be helpful for you. So for our daughter who just turned 15, and like I said, is in ninth grade, her CLEP testing started in 7th grade. So in 7th grade, she studied U.S. History 1, which would be from colonial times up until Reconstruction. So at the end of her 7th grade year, she took the U.S. History 1 CLEP test, which was accepted for 3 credits in our local community college system here. So also at the end of 7th grade, she took the Analyzing and Interpreting Literature CLEP, and that was a fairly straightforward, easy one for her because she really enjoys reading and reads a lot of different types of literature, and so that was a fairly easy test for her. She also is interested in history, so those were 2 really good matches. So that would make it so that at the end of 7th grade, she had 6 credits. So then going into 8th grade, we planned out her 8th grade year very purposefully, choosing the subjects we knew that she could study well at an honors level, high school level. And then at the end of each of those curricula, we would study for the CLEP test using resources like Modern States and Khan Academy, crash course videos on YouTube, and things like that. So in her 8th grade year, she CLEP'd American History 2. In the fall, she began studying that. And we used Khan Academy primarily for U.S. History 2, and also Crash Course. And she studied, so U.S. History 2 covers from Reconstruction until modern current times. So she took the CLEP test for U.S. History 2 in January of her 8th grade year. So that was 3 credits. And then she followed that up by taking American Government in the spring, because there is a lot of overlap between U.S. History 2 and American Government. And so it works really well to study those in close proximity to each other. So it's easier to get those both of those CLEP tests out of the way. So she got 3 credits for American History 2 in 8th grade. And then she followed that up with Government and got 3 credits in American Government at the end of 8th grade. And then also in 8th grade, she took psychology, and we purchased a psychology curriculum that was wonderful through Sherry Frame's Credits Before College website. You can check her out. And so she studied psychology at the same time as her brother. So she was in 8th grade, her brother was in 10th grade, and they studied psychology together. And then they also CLEP together. So she received 3 credits in psychology in the spring that year as well. So that had her by the end of 8th grade having 15 college credits. So that sets us up for 9th grade. So she had 15 credits at the end of 8th grade, and now she's going to have 30 at the end of 9th grade. And here's how we're going to do that. So the subjects she's taking this year that are going to be CLEP tests in a few months here are Algebra 2, which will lead the way to her CLEPing the college algebra exam. And then also she's taking biology. She's taking the Apologia Biology class to set her up for that biology CLEP. And also she'll be taking the composition exam this spring. So we are studying biology in depth, making sure to do lots of labs and experimentation. Now for us, biology doesn't count as a lab when you CLEP it with the university system we're working through, but we still have her study all those labs so that she feels really well prepared for the multiple choice exam, which CLEP is. So she is working on that. She's working on Algebra 2. We use Saxon Algebra. And Saxon has a wonderful little DVD that helps bridge the gap between the end of Algebra 2 and then a few more concepts that you would need to know to be ready to CLEP the college algebra exam. So we'll also complete that at the end of Algebra 2, hopefully in May. And so the college algebra exam is worth 3 credits. The college biology exam in our university is worth 6 credits. So that's a big one. And then that just leaves college composition. And college composition, we have our 11th grader took that a year or so ago. Both of our kids do well with writing and laying out their thoughts logically on paper. So the composition exam isn't too difficult for them, just making sure that they know how to write essays with a time limit, that they know how to make their in-text citations. And then in our university system, if they score above a certain level on the CLEP test, that test becomes worth 6 credits. And if they score above the passing mark, which is 50, but below a 65, then it's worth 3 credits. So that has the potential to be a 6 credit exam as well. And that would make it so that we would have 30 credits by the end of 9th grade. Now you might wonder, why do we want to get in those credits so soon? And I think part of the motivation for us is that we definitely want to get as much free college as we can, and who doesn't, right? We are not, unfortunately, going to be paying for our kids' college, so we want to make their high school count for as much as possible to getting them on a good start without debt into adulthood. That is part of the reason. Also because they're capable of doing it, and we just like the discipline and the tenacity that they show by studying and persevering for these tests. Our 11th grader, he's been scheduled to take the ACT a couple of times and both have been canceled because of COVID, but he has it coming up now, hopefully in February. And we're just excited that we don't have to go through all of the cramming and studying for the ACT, because CLEP testing has been such a great opportunity for our kids to learn to study well, to learn just principles for test taking, how to use the process of elimination to answer questions the best that you can. And that experience has been so wonderful. It's actually going to cut down on a lot of the stress of prepping for the ACT or for other standardized tests as well. So that maybe was a lot of information really fast. If you have any questions about how we specifically set up our school schedule to get in CLEP tests, go ahead and leave a question in the comments, and I'd like to answer that for you. And I'll do another video soon about our 11th grader and how he's getting that associate's degree at the end of his junior year. And so we'll talk about some other things coming up, but I hope this was helpful for you.